Hello, I'm Stan Hall. Welcome to this edition of Gwinnett Sports Commission's Get in the Game. For everyone who loves hockey, the Atlanta Gladiators, the AA affiliate of the Boston Bruins, play all of their home games at Gwinnett County's Infinite Energy Arena. The Gladiators have established a reputation as one of the best things to do in Metro Atlanta. Joining us today to talk about the Gladiators season and tell us more about the game day experience is Jerry James, President of the Atlanta Gladiators. Jerry, welcome to the show and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Stan.
Before we get into the Gladiators, let's talk about you. This is your first season with the Gladiators. Tell us about your path that led you to this current position that you have now.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe your non-traditional path, but it does come from a sports background. You know, I spent 10 years with the San Francisco Giants and then 2 with the Houston Astros organization, serving as the Assistant General Manager and Vice President of Revenue. And you know, we had some successful runs there, you know,
Yeah.
three world championships.
Just slightly successful.
Yeah, you know, and working with their minor league affiliate teams and really player development in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it is about the business development, developing partner strategic alliances, and then the day-to-day operations of running the minor league franchises.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I think some people might think, well, that's an unusual path to go from baseball to hockey, but you and I were talking before the show. The business side of it has some commonalities that cross the board there.
Yeah, it does. It does, and you know, it's about developing the relationships. You know, putting people in the arena, the sponsorships, the merchandise, all the revenue sources that come along with that. But then also developing the marketing and the culture that you want to present into the community. And I think that's something we've done successfully this year is rebrand ourselves, so to speak. You know, really come up with a culture that really identifies with Gwinnett County, the Atlanta Metro, and then Atlanta proper. You know,
exactly.
It's such a diverse area that we felt that we needed to make that change. The owner, who's now 2 years as the owner of the Gladiators, really felt that was a need for the change, and then bringing in myself and then having me bring in just some young dynamic staff. I've been fortunate to really find some really homegrown grassroots folks, you know, from some other organizations. You know, these are young millennials, energetic, very tech savvy, and that's the direction we're going.
Absolutely. Well, forgive me for reading something, but I think that your accomplishments so far have been well noted, and I also want to read this. You were recently named Executive of the Year, one of the top 50 most influential Latinos in Georgia by the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. First of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But I think that it does speak volumes as to people are noticing what you're doing. So.
No, and again, it's about the team that you surround yourself with, right? It starts from our owner, who understands what it takes to become immersed into the community, to provide that connection to the team, and then putting the effort in. You know, we've established some amazing partnerships. You know, we have Gwinnett Chamber, we have the Georgia Hispanic Chamber, but looking at you know, the Fortune 500 companies, you know, working with them and establishing relationships. So it's a lot of work and a lot of time to put in that, but we felt that you have to do that. You have to, you know, be able to put into the community before you start asking back.
That's exactly right. And I have to tell you, I love the efforts that you've made and the success you've had as far as bringing in the Latino community. And I have to ask you about Dia Los Muertos.
Yeah.
How's that working out? So.
You know, it was fantastic. You know, we had our Day of the Dead event. You know, and again, for us, Stan, it's important that when we do an event, whether it's Hispanic, Latino, Pan-Asian, African American, that we're true to the culture, that we're sincere. So, and again, the days of, you know, the promotions of doing your Cinco de Mayo beer and ticket are done. You need to be able to identify with the culture, what folks are wearing, what they're eating, what music they listen to, what the culture, the art. And that's something that I stress to our folks. And so we did come up with the bobblehead. We did coordinate with Telemundo, other Hispanic medias that, you know, we want this to be a sincere event, and because people pick up on that. And And if it's not something that they want to, that they don't agree with, they're not going to come back.
That's exactly right. Well, you've been from one organization to the other, and anytime you go into a new role, you establish certain goals that you would like to accomplish for the first year. So what are some of those goals that you identified early that you hope you can accomplish in this first year? So.
Yeah, and I think, we've started checking off the list, you know, and that first goal was to immediately become identified in the community, the culture, becoming part of the events, connecting ourselves with the right people that can help us leverage those opportunities.
Right.
And I can. There's a handful of folks that were instrumental as soon as I got off the plane that we started working with, that helped us go into events and getting our brand out there, and then getting people to buy into the culture. Yeah. And then that second thing was to really change out the staff. Finding folks that have a new vision, that are willing to think outside the box, that are more aggressive. And then they can identify with the culture, with the surrounding Gwinnett County, the folks that are here, and those are the things that we did. And we knew that the fans will come. We changed them a lot in game, some positive, some weren't positive, but we felt the changes need to happen.
Jerry, what is and I guess a lot of folks in this area are familiar with baseball, and if you think about that affiliation with minor league teams to a major league team, what's the affiliation between the Gladiators and the Boston Bruins, which is sort of the team that you were tied to?
Yeah, and it is the team that we're tied to, and it is that, like the minor league baseball structure, where you have your single A, double A, triple A folks that are being pulled up, sent down all the time. The difference with the ECHL, in which I really am enjoying, is the fact that we sign the players. We go out and scout. We go out and negotiate with the unions. We work with other players' management.
You own the contracts, right?
We own the contracts, and we trade. We do have contracts that come in from the Bruins, from Providence. So we move some in and out of there. But I think we just announced today that one of our goalies that we traded for, because we felt that we're going to make that Sean Bonner is our guy, and he's going to continue to improve. And so we decided to make a decision there, and left no doubt that he's going to be the goalie for this franchise. Yeah. And so, that's what I really enjoy is really you are a GM. You do put the team together, and what's on the ice it's on you.
Yeah. I think one of the things that caught my attention reading about this year was that you actually brought back a coach who was here some years ago and had a very successful run competitively. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Jeff Pyle, he has a long history here and a successful one. He's really managed and put together some really strong teams, and this year no different. I think what we saw with him last year, it was his first year back. He had an amazing run towards the end of the season, and unfortunately we just couldn't finish that one game out to get us into the playoffs. And but he's a guy that just understands how to find talent, keep us under the salary cap or within that cap, and really get the most out of players. Right now, we're 500, we're 10-10, but again, it's about when do you peak, and Jeff knows when to start turning it and putting those buttons. And so he's loved by the community, a great reputation, and so we're very fortunate to get Jeff back. And I know he's with us for another year on his deal, and we just look forward to getting into the playoffs.
Absolutely. You were talking a little bit about the affiliation you have as far as an organization goes. Let's talk a little bit about hockey in the Atlanta area, because it's been sort of a roller coaster. You guys are the only professional hockey team in the Atlanta area now.
Last 17 years.
Last 17 years, and we've had two professional hockey teams playing in Atlanta who have come and gone, and you're still here. But how important is the Gladiators franchise to the Atlanta area market as it relates to hockey, and the East Coast Hockey League as well? How does all that work together?
And it's interesting that you bring that up. And I was in Orlando and was able to meet up. The commissioner that came through there, and we talked a little bit. And he's going to visit this Friday. And one of the things is that they want us to really understand and really get this message out is that hockey is important to this market, to Atlanta, and it's important to the league, but not only to the ECHL, but AHL. You know, I get calls all the time. You know, folks are kicking the tires. The market is only getting better.
Yeah.
You know, it's need to figure out how to maybe organize this junior hockey program that's out here, but it's massive.
Right.
It's
you can't even get rink time, they say.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there is that need and that want for that commodity, but it's important, and I really believe that NHL will be back. You know, and so it's on the radar. Economically, it just makes sense.
It's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, and geographically, as well. You know, you have Delta Airlines out here is a major hub, and a lot of the NHL teams recognize that. It's easy in and out. The airport is probably one of the best, obviously, in the United States, and getting players in and out, and it just makes sense. And you know, unfortunately, the last two NHL franchises that didn't take hold, but you know, it'll happen. You just get that sense. And for right now, you know, the Gladiators has a stronghold, and you know, we continue stand to what can we do to make ourselves stronger here in this market. You know, whether it's looking at the youth programs, looking at facilities, looking at training facilities. You know, something we could share that. You know, we had a couple of Chinese, the international team brings Chinese players in to try out for the team.
Wow.
And Atlanta was really looked at as possibly bringing in the Chinese national team to train while they build their facility in China. So Atlanta is on the radar and as the place to be in regards to talent development and future speculations.
You know, another thing that I appreciated that you did was, you know, you're trying very hard to build your brand and make it more and more and more as far as the Gladiators concerned. But I noticed this year you even honored some of Atlanta's hockey tradition in past with the Atlanta Knights.
What a great that was a great night.
What brought all that on though?
Well, you know, it's again celebrating the past. You know, getting people to understand that there was a hockey past and a successful one, a championship team, and you know, to get people excited and motivated to attend, and for us to be motivated to win championships, you got to remember the championships that you won in the past, you know, and build off of that. And there's people that appreciate that, you know, and I've come through walking down the aisles, and you know, people are literally crying, you know, for these guys. You know, they're so happy to have that team in there, and people are thanking you, and really we owe them a lot of thanks too. You know, what the successes they brought to the organization and to Atlanta in general. You know, in Atlanta and Gwinnett, you know, they need to really be reminded of those traditions and those past, because we're just going to continue to grow and build on that.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. I want to come back and talk a little bit about some of the things you have in store for fans to get them in the building and actually watch how good your team is. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're talking today about the Atlanta Gladiators, who play here in Gwinnett at the Infinite Energy Center. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after these messages. Thank you.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
Welcome back to the show. Today our highlight is on the Atlanta Gladiators, a team that's been around here for a long time. As you guys know, watching, they play in the Infinite Energy Center, and we love having them here. So before the break, I told you I want to talk a little bit about some changes that y'all have made. Number one, you changed the uniforms. Tell us a little bit about how the thought process into that. So,
you know, it came from the owner, just with some ideas, and he asked for, some thoughts on that, and I felt that it was the right thing to do. The fact that, we're trying to separate ourselves, because you have this sports market, right? And it is baseball, it is football, it is soccer, and they traditionally tend to have all the same color schemes. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to break away with that and really identify maybe with our affiliate, but just we wanted to brighten it up. We wanted to just create a buzz. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that what we came up with, and it certainly did that. Again, like anything else, some positive, some negative, but I think we won the fans over with that, and they love those jerseys.
The fan experience at any sporting event is so important.
Absolutely.
And I know that you've put a lot of thought and energy into that. Yeah. Talk a little bit, Jerry, about the changes you guys have made as far as that overall, what people can expect when they come to a hockey game.
Yeah. And again, it all starts from the outside working back into the building, right? And some of the things that we did initially was just the way we reach fans. We're heavy on social media, but we went all in on digital, and the social media platforms, bringing in an outside consultant. But we really go heavy on that digital so folks can find us, hear about us, and know when upcoming games, promotions. And then we work our way to inside the building. We moved our team store to the front. We've moved entertainment. There's always something going on. So either we're giving something away, fans can come and participate with our vendors that are there, but there's music going, so it's energy from the moment you walk into the building. And then when you get into the arena, the bowl itself, the color change, the pyrotechnics that we now have, and then the fan engagement, the newer music. It's just everything that we want to do is enhance those senses. And again, it may be a Korean K-pop, it may be Hispanic, Korean drums, Chinese dancers, Ecuador. I mean, we've had them all, and our fans are first, because your traditional hockey fans they look back a little bit, but then they're like, okay,
that works.
I get it, and I'm enjoying this. I don't know why, but I am, and so and it's about getting those fans out there to see their first hockey game. And once they do, they're hooked, because it's very physical, and it's very just moving, constantly moving, and fans like that. And a lot of the fans that we're seeing coming into the building are these transplants from New York, from Detroit, Michigan, St. Louis, Canada.
All hockey towns.
All hockey towns.
Yeah.
And regardless of what culture you're from, you've been to a hockey game back there. Few folks, Koreans, come up and, hey, I'm from New York, but I'm an Islander. I want to come. I love this game. We didn't even know there was a hockey game and hockey team. And that was the first hill to climb, was to get the message out there. Yep, we have a hockey team. We've been a hockey team here for 17 years, and getting past that, and now, the synergy and the energy is going, and we're coming out smelling like roses. And it's just people are enlightened, engaged. We're always looking, what can we do to that next level that's going to.
And you're also hanging on to some of those traditions that you've been very successful with, like the teddy bear toss and all that, right?
Absolutely. Teddy bear toss, wiener dog race. And again, there's the similarities with baseball, right? Or in minor league baseball. Most of your fans are going to come in just wanting the fan experience. In baseball, and I'll use this as an example, they either want to see something they haven't seen before, or they want some affordable meal or, just fireworks. But the thing that I've learned about this market, Stan, and it's very, very incredible to me, you have to win.
Mm-hmm.
At the
It
end
means a lot, doesn't it?
At the end of the day, if you don't have a competitive team or a winning record, fans aren't going to come out. And so now, and having a coach like Jeff who understands that, we're starting to mesh real well, and so that's the difference a little bit there in hockey and minor league baseball. Just, you got to win.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you're a month into the season, probably?
Yeah, we've had 10 home games.
10 home games.
So we're a third of the way through the season.
So what do you give me a report card on yourself and the team so far? What do you think?
Well, we're always striving to be better.
Right.
Right. Right now we're 10-10. The guy is like anything else. There's a flash of brilliance, and then sometimes you just wonder what the heck happened.
That's
right.
right.
But we're exactly where we need to be in the standings to make that push. Like anything else, all you want to do is get into the dance, the playoffs, and then let whatever happens happen. Now, front office wise, every game we've trended better than what we did last year in attendance. We on a revenue, on a group aspect, everything's trending the right way. Our merchandise, people are excited.
I see it all over the place.
Yeah.
The Gladiator stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and that's great. And that just shows us we're going in the direction we want. Now, what's important for us this next month and a half is that we have, I want to say maybe our 16 games, which is very critical in regards to how to gauge where we think we're going to be at the end of the year.
Right.
In regards to fans, because these are going to be our bigger promotions. Our Star Wars night, our Teddy Bear Toss, our Wiener Dog Sing for Santa's coming up this Friday. And so things like that, which traditionally is larger crowds, we want to build on that.
Yeah, you do a pink ice one night too as well.
We do.
Yeah.
Hockey Fights Cancer, right?
Yeah.
That's very 2-day event, and those are in the planning. So we still do those things, but we just want to do them better.
Yeah. So Jerry, if people are watching today and they have interest in coming to a game and maybe haven't been, talk about how they could get tickets. What are the opportunities to get tickets? So
go to our website, gladiators.com, or just they can call the office. They can or walk to the arena, the box office. Tickets are available. Look us up on Facebook. We're social media heavy. They can find us pretty much everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, we're glad to have you in town. We
great to be
appreciate
here.
what you're doing with the Gladiators and for our community in more ways than just hockey, obviously.
Yeah.
And appreciate you spending some time with us
No,
today.
I appreciate that.
Thank you
very
so much. That's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to know more about the Gwinnett Sports Commission or upcoming sport events in our area, please visit our website at GwinnettSportsCommission.com. Thanks for being with us. I'm Stan Hall. See you next time on Get in the Game. Goodbye.